Collectors Optical 20 back for another video review. This time it's Aragorn from Star Ace, and you can purchase this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below, or you can visit Star Ace website. I'll put the link down below too. They got several cool products there, so feel free to explore this. I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings, in case you haven't noticed yet. But yeah, anything Lord of the Rings I would probably collect. Even their video games, their crappiest video games, I do buy. So when I heard that Star Ace is getting a crack of it, I don't have any Aragorn yet, either 1/6 or 1/8, or surprisingly, I know, right? But I missed some of them. So when I heard about the 1/8, which I really do like their 1/8 scale, because I think it's a perfect size. It doesn't take too much space, and I love their lineup, you know, the Flash. And so I hope they continue this one. I know they got some Death for Real coming up, but as always, you can see this box art is fantastic, as the same one as I've always said, you know, with Arrow and Flash. Beautiful art box. You saw the kind of like the flap out there, the picture of Aragorn, which I believe they might have taken the picture to maybe sculpt this particular figure, because that's what I used, just to give you you know, the comparison video there for the likeness. So this is how it comes out, you know, nice packaging, a lot of lots of accessories here, and as always, their insert is terrific. I use this for my thumbnail. I'm gonna use it for my Instagram photos. So beautiful packaging right there by Star Ace, as always. The house in this plastic case and done. And as far as the accessories, you got a few hands here and there. The right hand has gloves and the left hand does not. You can see the ring, and I forgot the name of his sword, so don't crucify me on this. Like, I thought you were a big fan, but yeah, you know, don't pay too much attention to those. But this is the sword that he comes with. Beautiful paint application as well. This is not die cast, so you know, I don't really mind if it's die cast or not. Sometimes die cast just, you know, makes things heavier and puts stress into the joints and whatnot. You can remove that tip right here. That's how you insert the sword in his hands, and you got the sword nicely painted as well. A lot of details in this one as well. You know, it's Star Ace, so highly detailed every step of the way here. I hope they make this in 1/6 as well. I don't know if they would, but I just hope they do that. Or if they don't, I hope they continue the lineup in the 1/8. Dagger and the sheet. Now, initially, when you try to insert this, it'll be a little tough. At least on mine, it's tight fitting. But if you just insert it, just put it in. So and you will initially, you know, once you do it once or twice, it'll get loosened up. So yeah, and then nice details in this dagger as well. You can see the snake head on the dagger, and nice air dry brushing effects there, so that worn out look on the blade. And he also bow and arrow. So the arrow, it only comes with 2 of them. So if you get the manual, it looks like there's 4, but mine only comes with 2, but that's enough, you know. The quiver that he does have makes it the appearance have more. However, I do have the arrow, so I can probably put some in here. And nice tip of the arrow right there, nicely painted. And at the edge of at the end of those arrows as well, you can kind of wedge the edge for the bow. And you can see her quiver, he does have a place that you can, it looks like a faux leather, but it's mostly just plastic, but it gets the job done. And you can see those 2 holes right there. That's where you insert his bow, which I didn't put it in here because it's a bit tricky. So what I did was, at least my tip for you is that once you put the bow into the hand, don't ever remove it there. At least that's what I'm gonna do, because just in case, you don't want to keep on removing the this elastic band, like kind of like a rubber band sort of thing, into the bow all the time. You know, I'm afraid that I was gonna mess that up. And he comes with this nice sleeping bag as well. I haven't attempted to roll this out, but I'm sure you could. This is an actual fabric material, and this is his necklace, and beautifully I believe this is what Arwen gave. Again, I haven't seen the movie in quite some time, so I don't know what it's called, but it's nicely detailed here. Pretty have and the stand says Lord of the Rings, and it looks like some rocks and pebbles designed there. It's a bit lower than the usual flash and arrows, but it's good because they're making a distinction on what the figure is. And as far as the outfit, beautifully done here. It's a thin material, I would suppose, the fabric that they use, which is nice because it drapes just nicely. Even his coat overlay, it just drapes nicely, so it's not bunching up. So that's what you want to see, and the material that they use is nice as well. It's kind of like velvety, but not too thick. So you always that nice flow. This is the type where I don't know. I don't want any wires in this one, and luckily they didn't put any because, I mean, it's not really a cape, so I'd rather just have it draped nicely. That's what they did, and there's some seams on the edge. So if you once you put the sword in, it just doesn't. The costume basically does not hinder any movements or anything like that. You can see the nicely detailed. Looks there's weathering in there. No ankle articulation though, but that's okay. This figure stands really well by itself. You don't really need a stand, but yeah, and it's on the side here. You can remove this as well. So if you want to have the look of Striker or not, or just the Aragorn, you have several options on how you wanna display him. Basically, you can see here there's some weathering effects on some of his costume. You can remove this as well. One thing that maybe the hood is a little bit too big. This hood right here. So now I don't see myself using this because once you insert the quiver and the sleeping bag, I don't know if you want to call it sleeping bag. Maybe that's not what it's called, but yeah, it's kind of hard to maneuver in and out with that hoodie. But it's a little too big. If there's one thing that I would change, maybe that hoodie right there. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. On Arrow, I know it's a totally different figure, but I think they got it right on Arrow. Maybe the edge, a component for that for hoodies should have like those wires at least, so you can kind of position them on how they would look like. This one, I guess you can still maneuver it around. Maybe I just didn't have enough patience with it, but so this is the head sculpt. So it's there. This is there's a lot of they got a lot of heat for this one. They actually improved this one a little bit more. If there's certain angles that you can see, it's a 1/8, so I know they're still trying to find their niche on this one, because what I noticed on their 1/8 as far as head sculpt is that they use I don't know, it's kind of softer material that they use, not fully plastic like their 1/6 collectible. So I don't know if the paint just doesn't sit here well. But if I had to add something, because you can see here he's there, like Viggo Mortensen is there, maybe the eyes, because I tried to do the dissolve, but I just couldn't find the good angle. But I think the paint application is just a little bit softer. If they made it, because he looks young and everything's or wrinkles. If I had to add something, maybe darker beard, I don't know, maybe the eye should be a little bit lighter. But you can see here from this angle, there are certain angles like if you just remove it's just, to me, it's just way too smooth. And as far as height comparison is concerned, you can see him with the Defo Real series here, so it's obviously taller than Kong. This is the height difference between him and Leonidas, which is 1/6, also from Star Ace, which I do adore. I love this figure, man. And they're gonna come out with a version 2 of General Themistocles and Queen Gorgo as well. They're gonna come out with a version 2, so that I would watch out for that as well. Beautiful figure. But yeah, this is if you want to display him over, and obviously he's in line with the other 1/8. He's a little bit shorter here because of the stand, so not because he's just short in general, but yeah, I can't wait for the Supergirl and Martian Hunter. They got a good lineup for 1/8 scale, so I'm gonna put him in a couple of poses before we wrap this thing up. Here he is, kind of jumping right in the air, trying to attack some maybe Lurtz. I forgot his name. Yep, the big guy. Hopefully they make Lurtz. That would be amazing. Yeah, jumping up, trying to stab someone. I didn't mention the articulation, but you can get full range with this guy. No need to. And I normally don't do that in my reviews. I feel bad for the figure once I twist and turn him. I know some reviewers does that, and I'm just not gonna sacrifice the integrity of the figure. I'll tell you right away if there's any restrictions. Not on this figure, at least. Nothing whatsoever. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, no hindrance whatsoever. Neck, legs, the pants are not that tight that you can't move them around. Everything's perfect when it comes to articulation here, so no worries. No leather material, so no need to worry about flaking or ripping something off. Everything's cotton, so or velvet, just fabric basically. So you go crazy when it comes to dynamic poses if you want to. Here you can see the belt. I mean the sheath. There is a leather section. Just be careful because I broke mine just putting it in, and it's sometimes the weight of it. I mean, there's nothing super glue can't fix, which I did. So, and here he is. Nice poses that you can pull off here. The arrow is pretty nice as well. The bow, it's just like a stick that bends. So there's nothing too major to say about the bow. The only good thing is that you can actually insert it in the quiver itself. So that's a plus. I like it when all my accessories is in the figure. I hate leaving them in the box, or I have this container that I use, so I put them in the container. But it's nice when you can have them attached to the figure itself, because you feel like you're not wasting or putting money away because you paid for this accessory. So which does come with a decent amount of, as you can see here. It's kind of decked out here. They didn't really say where you would put the dagger, so I just took the liberty of putting it front of his belt. So it just he just gives you the he's loaded, man. He can throw that dagger away or stab you in the heart, or things. There you go, guys. You can see the his back is kind of protruding there. It's because of the stand. You can fix this easily. But yeah, I would say it's a nice figure. As a big Lord of the Rings fan, I'm happy to have it in my collection. Hopefully they continue using the Lord of the Rings. Yes, the head sculpt could use a little bit of work, and hopefully they improve down the line, just a little bit more detail. But the base is there. If I had to just comment on one thing, that should be it. But everything else looks terrific. Costume, articulation, amount of accessories, it's great. And like I mentioned before, I love 1/8. It gives you a different vibe when it comes to my collection. And so I got my 1/6, I got my video game collection, and we get the 1/8 on the side. You're focusing on in a different line as well. Totally different from my 1/6 line. So hopefully they continue this line and announce more to come. Different franchises, which is just great for any collectors. And once again, thank you for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Share this video. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and if you have any question, comments, or concern, please do it down below, and I'll see you guys in the next review.